Hi, I'm back again. I'm Paris, working hard to be your favorite Paris. And today we are talking about life insurance. Shocker, right? No, not at all. But a lot of times people will say talking about death or life insurance is morbid. But really, I feel like we're talking about love. Life insurance is the only thing that you can leave that will leave a long living legacy. I find that time is the most precious gift, and insurance products are the only thing that give you a little bit more time. Think about it. The last time you were grieving, the last time someone, if not yourself, were in a hospital or something like that, and you still had to carry on with life. Didn't you wish you could just take off time without it not mattering? Pause those bills for a moment, quit your job altogether. I remember my cousin when she was passing away. I laid there, and you would have thought that I was dead too. And she opened her eyes, gotta love a cousin, even in their worst day. And she said, "Why are you staring at me like that?" And really, I was trying to absorb. It was the first time I had lost someone so close to me. And I felt like if I kept my eyes open and staring at her, maybe I would keep her alive. That was not true. And I would be there every day. I would miss work, leave work early, come on the weekends. I was traveling back and forth from Indianapolis to South Bend, Indiana. It's about a 3-hour drive. And I had a routine. I would work the minimum, and then I would get on the highway, drive home, and try and sit with my family. And I remember one day I was staring at her, just already grieving the living, which is easy to do. And I told her, I said, I think I need to like just be here full time, because clearly I could do better than the doctors and everybody else. And she told me that if she passed away, I was going to still need a job. So I cried and got myself right back on the highway, right? So I say all of that story to say that we are back. And if someone has told you before that talking about life insurance and death is morbid, if you are thinking that in the back of your mind, let's switch all thoughts to love and talk a little bit more about how you figure out how much life insurance you need. I'll tell you right now, if you fall in 50% of the world that does have coverage, you probably need to look at what you bought, because if you were responsible and you bought when you were young, you probably had different goals then. So we want to make sure that you are set to live until 100. 100. A honey bun. A honey bun. Somebody type honey bun if you made it this far and didn't just like my video and kept it moving. I'm gonna wait for it. But please feel free to ask questions throughout this video, even if I'm not still live right now. Please drop your questions. I look at them all the time. And this video is meant to be a resource for you, because life insurance isn't about death, it's about love. And we're going to get right into it. Okay. And we are reframing the life insurance conversation. So, I came up with the Paris method. My name is Paris, so it makes it easier. You remember the Paris method, you'll remember me. And it really goes through how you calculate how much insurance you need. Now, notice that I just said insurance, I didn't name a type of product or a type of insurance, because there are a lot of them. I'm sure you've heard a lot of different things about different insurance products. We talk about that later. Right now, I don't want you to think about the type of life insurance products you need. And I also don't want you to think about how much it will cost you per month, because this is a strategy. This is an investment. We are planning to live until 100, right? So, this walks us completely through handling the adult side of things like final expense, but also taking time to really dream and think about how life insurance is more than just being about death. Sound like a plan? Okay, so your magic number is your power move. So let's go through the Paris method. I'm going to pull up my calculator so that while I talk about it, can you see? My daughter's here. She's actually the reason we're doing this live today, because So yes, you can see this as soon as I find it. Hmm. One momento. Yes, she is. She, if you can't hear her, she is on the dance team. Now I have Excel open. What's going on? Paris Excel. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. Glad my daughter was in the frame. She hasn't seen my calculator. I love when the kid is proud of me. All right, let's add it here. And we're going to start with protecting our income. So this is the calculator that I have. I have a worksheet too, if that works better for you, if you're a pen and paper type of person. But I also can email this to you if you want in Excel and just want to play around with numbers. So let's start at the beginning. And today we're going to go completely through this. It's really easy. This one pager, Paris acronym, and really think about how we figure this out. Now, this isn't meant to be something quick. Of course, if you met with me one on one, we could get through this pretty quickly because I already have a million questions and answers to help you figure this out. But let's just say you already are pretty familiar with life insurance. You maybe have something through work or you have a policy that you started a long time ago. So you are good. Let's review it. So when we think about protecting our income in this first column here, now, first priority when we get to R is remember final expense. I know I'm jumping around. This is meant to be make you thinking all over the place, but when we're protecting our income, yes, I want you to think about if you're a parent, if you're not a parent, if you die unexpectedly, I mean, we all die too soon, right? Am I right? If you die unexpectedly, think of who depends on you for income today. Do you share your check with anyone? I'm pretty sure you do. So if you weren't here today, or if you are here and you're unable to make the same income, how many years would you want to leave? Um, I'm a mom, so every number that I put in here, I normally put 10 years. I feel like my kid at minimum would need a decade after I was gone to have my income still assisting her. Also, I think about this here. If you have not experienced losing, being separated from a career, then you might not can relate. But think about we're planning to live until 100. Think about the job and the income you get today. What if you don't have that income tomorrow for whatever reason? There's a list on top of a list of reasons why we might separate from an employer. We could be terminally ill. We could get injured, we could get fired, we could quit. Um, Family members, lifestyle changes, selling of companies. You get on social media, get online, open a newspaper, you can see a million reasons of why our income has changed. So we're going to protect our income. Right here, I, for one, pretty much you pick. If you look on my page, there's a lot of different walks of life. For easy numbers and not to overwhelm us, let's put 50K. So let's say that I'm 40. So I'm still going to stick with wanting to replace 10 years. So right there, you see that if that was all that I cared about, which life insurance is so much more than that, I would put 50K here. Years to replace, that's 10 years. For me to use myself as an example, if I passed away today, my daughter in 10 years would be 22. So I'm looking at how much income I would want to help her have until she was 22. So now right there we have that off top. We know we want some type of product that will want to cover 500,000. Now we're going to keep working through our calculator, okay? So now we're going to add up our debts. Now There is a video, you can go on back, I'll probably be doing it again, where a lot of times people will say, you'll hear them say, I hear them say, like, I'll be dead, they can worry about that later. Well, there are some creditors, some debt that will come after your assets, even after you pass away. And if we aren't billionaires, trillionaires, and don't have a lot to leave, well, even if we have a lot to leave, you don't want to spend any of that in probate. Probate is courts where they figure out who the money belongs to, and a lot of times you think you have to be rich to be involved in probate. That is not the case. Probate does not discriminate. If you don't have your paperwork in order, in time, you will go into probate. Also, when you're thinking about adding debts, we want to think about anything that we want to keep after we're gone. So, mortgages, if you have a family home that you want to keep, there's taxes, all of that good jazz. You want to account for that. A lot of parents I run into have co-signed. Sometimes the kids have co-signed for the older parents, but you want to keep that in mind when you're calculating this. Also, this is future obligation. So you want to plan for the future based on your life right now. Do you have kids? Do you want to buy them a car in the future? Do you want to pay for college in the future? Even if you aren't here, that's when you will put this here. So for me, sorry, I'm clicking on the screen. For me, I would say for today's example, let's put 100K there. I don't own a home yet. Not really worried about a car per se. My daughter's 12. She's got some time. If I was gone unexpectedly today, she could take some of that income I've slotted for above and get a car once she has her license. So, just to give myself a bucket, I'm going to put 100K. Think about some folks may say, like, hey, I'll just sell everything. Well, it takes some time to liquidate assets. So think about that and apply it here. So you can see if I scroll down, you see it's calculating my magic number down here. All right, so we're not done yet. So now we're going to talk about remembering the final expense. Now I'm going to tell you that off always, when in doubt, if folks have not talked about funeral expenses, if you don't know whether you know what, honestly, today you might want to be cremated, tomorrow you might want a service. I recommend that you at minimum start at 15K. I had a client, the obituary was $800 in the newspaper. I think it was good money spent, but that's the prices for today. You want to make sure that folks can memorialize you the way you want and it not be a burden. So put 15K if you're not sure. I normally have folks set aside 15 to 20K. I don't think you need to do much more than that. Also, remember, we're planning to be 100. So we start with 15K now. In about 25 years or so, I'll follow up with you. We'll look at some of our whole life insurance policies, see how much cash they've earned, and we'll probably go ahead and pay for your final expenses out of that, in a couple of decades. Okay, but we're planning for it now. So, next, we get to I include dreams and legacy. And this is when I really start to enjoy the calculator and the acronym because this is when we're done adulting. This is when we're done taking care of our responsibilities and we are really focusing on our dreams and legacy. I've shared many things. I live in Texas here. There's been crazy flooding. So the whole state is pulling together to share resource I mean, from all over, not just the state, to give resources to those families who are going through the worst day. I forgot to act like we did that one and then move to this one. um, so there are charities here. There's one funeral home I posted about, and not only are they donating caskets, but they are doing custom caskets. Now, I am sure on the worst day of your life, if you need a casket, you are happy, especially if it's donated. But think how nice that is to donate a custom casket. If you're not familiar with the floods that happened out here in Texas, babies, people, children were at camp, and their whole campsite Anyway, so that is nice. So say you were moved by that. Say you saw it on the news and you wanted to donate, that would be here. Also, my daughter's been a business owner before. I'm sure she'll do more of that in the future. So I would go ahead and do a little seed fund here. If there's a charity that you've participated in your whole life, I've been super involved in sickle cell and cancer. So I would want to make sure that I left something to keep that work going forward. Also, I have godchildren, nieces, and nephews. This is where I'll be adding into the include dreams and legacy budget until I'm 85. That's when you have to start when I cut you off from buying new policies. But I'll be adding to this. This is when you really go crazy and think about how you want your final days to be. I don't want money to be a reason I can't do something when I'm 80. They booking a trip. I want it to be because I don't like Paris in the fall or something. It's why I can't go. I don't want it to be because I'm on a fixed income and I can't go because I didn't plan to be 80 and want to travel. I like to travel today. I'm going to like to travel until I can't anymore. So I'm going to always be funding this budget. See how this is something you should look at all the time? We change, our goals change. As my daughter gets older, just to jump back up, as my daughter gets older, this will start to go to, we'll start to drop it down. We won't need, I won't need to account for her, for my income replacing that because she'll have her own income. So, just think about it. So let's put it back up to 10 because we're planning from today. Each time you can add tabs and keep going on. So let's just say for my dreams, I need a half a milli. Okay. So we're up here, we're calculating now. We've done that. So we've protected our income, whether we're here or not. We'll have income for 10 years. Our debt, we're not going to worry about any of that taking away our assets because we've allotted for that. We've taken care of our final expenses. So that's there. I saw a lady, her parents, she's older. Her parents passed away recently. Her mom died, and then her dad died shortly after. Broken heart. That's real stuff. But anywho, they bought their policies back in 1977. She only had to pay $9. That was the only outstanding bill. Isn't that beautiful? Because losing both of your parents is tough. But having a huge bill just doesn't make it easier. Okay. So we have that there. We've included our dreams and legacy. Of course, you would, work on that as your dreams change. Now let's get to S. Subtract your savings. So you'll see here cash savings. We put that in there. If you have like a 401k, if you have a large sum of money, maybe you were a beneficiary again and you have a large sum of money just sitting that is for your retirement. One, please make sure that it's in a vehicle that's working for you. Two, you can put this in the savings. Now, do not put your day to day savings in this bucket because have you lived day to day so far? Things are expensive. This is savings that you've actually set aside for these type of things. So also think about employer insurance. This is the only time that I consider that it counts because employer insurance only lasts while you're with the employer. It is group insurance. If you are separated from your employer and they offer you the Cobra version of group life insurance, it does not age well. Ask me why, we can talk about it. So this is where you want to put in here. I've had other 401ks from previous employers. You could reroute those into different situations and add it here. But let's say other funds. Let's say we've got 15K. So that gives us our magic number. Now, how we fill that in will be determined based on what our needs are. How old are you? What's your health status? What's your health insurance like? What type of work are you doing? When will you retire? Do you want to retire? Do you have an after retirement plan of work? So there's so many questions we want to navigate because we are planning for you to live until 100. This is your real life number. I think just like when you're going over balancing the checkbook and figuring out what you have, once you get this filled out, it really gives you power. It gives you security. It tells you what we need to work on. And this, figuring out a number, once you fill out all of this and we talk through what you care about, it gets so easy. So easy. So easy. So, the one thing though, the way we can make it the most affordable was yesterday. The next most affordable day is today. So please, I want you to save this video, if not for someone else, definitely for yourself. I want you to tag someone that you know needs to hear this. Tag someone if that I jumped to another thought, but I heard someone say, or someone told me once that if I would go to their funeral service, shame on me if I did not tell them that I was an insurance resource. So I made a video earlier today that every video I do is a pitch to pique your interest just to get a little bit of one on one with you. So, again, your family, friends, anybody, share this so that we can make sure that everyone knows that they have options and resources. 50% of our baby boomers, that means our folks over the age of 60 last year died without final expense. Many seniors have small policies because they did plan, but they didn't plan for things to look like they did today. Grab you a senior that you love, grab both of y'all policies. Let's go over them together. We're better together. And of course, if you want help calculating this number, not only am I happy to do that, it is nothing. It costs you nothing to talk with me. I do this for free and for fun. Also, if you enjoyed this video, we can set up this same situation for your family night. I can come in person or I can come via Zoom. So, if you need help, do not hesitate to reach out to me, and I'll be happy to help you with that. Thank you for listening. Remember that protecting your family starts with being informed. I hope that I overwhelmed you in all the good ways, taking all that, bless you, Janelle, going over all of this information. And just to remind you one last time, protect your income, add up your debts, remember your final expense, include dreams and legacy, subtract your savings. That spells Paris. I'm your favorite Paris. Like, okay, Janelle's doing Hamilton resources, but all right. Remember, it's not all about the money. It's the way we tell our family that we've got them covered. All right. I look forward to dreaming with you again later. Bye.